The truck is all loaded up and I am in Lincoln Square. I'm gonna meet up with Michael Goldstein, AKA the Mensch with the wrench, and he's gonna show us another home repair project. I feel like a real DIYer in this truck. The shared Chicago garage we're working in today has too much junk on the floor to pull in the Ram 1500. But, as always, the Mensch has a solution.
Today we're gonna put some wall-mounted shelves up.
So if you're lucky enough to even have a garage in the city, storage and organization is so important, right?
Absolutely.
There is a wide range of storage solutions at many price points with many different looks. Today we're installing a simple wire rack and shelving system that will hold everything we need to store, plus a simple wall-mounted fold-down bike rack. Before we begin, we'll need a stud finder, tape measure, level, drill, and hammer, plus the hardware that came with the kits.
The kits are great because you can add, you can take away, you can customize it to whatever your needs are.
Let's get started.
Okay?
Michael has already marked the walls, so we'll know where to begin.
So the way I laid it out, we're gonna do one shelf behind you on this wall, and we're gonna do two over here, and it's gonna make a world of difference. So I took all the measurements, but first thing we wanna do is just make sure that I'm right into the stud. So we're gonna use our stud finder. There's one side, there's the other. So my marks are right, but just to be safe, I always like to take a nail and tap it in. So that way I know we're going into a stud. And I pre-drilled some of the holes. So we're just gonna go ahead and fasten this.
Is that something you recommend, pre-drilling all the holes first?
It helps. In this case, because we're using metal studs, you wanna make sure you pre-drill it.
Okay.
If it's wood and you're using drywall screws, it should just pull right into it. Pre-drilling never hurts. So the last step, now that we got this nice and secure, is we just wanna make sure that it's level, and we are all set.
We mount the other two vertical strips according to the markings he made earlier, always carefully checking for level on the vertical and the horizontal.
So this is where the pre-measurement comes in handy. You don't have to fiddle around with too many things while you're up here.
Right.
Is this really a beginner project?
Absolutely, because again, it's just measuring, finding your studs. It's using all the basic skills. It's not too complex. You just want to make sure you're going into the studs. All right, so we got our brackets up. Now we're gonna hang our the shelf brackets. This part, super easy. You're just gonna count up. We're gonna put it into the 6 hole, slide it in. It's got some teeth on the top, and we know they're all gonna be level.
The final step is to pop the shelf itself into the brackets, and we've got one set done. We repeat to install a couple more shelves and move on to the bike rack, which in this case isn't going to be used for a bike at all.
This is very versatile. You can use it to hang anything. In this case, the client wants us to hang a stroller to get it out of their way, maximize the space under their shelves. So we're gonna put it as high as we can, get this off the ground. We're gonna go right up under here because we know the stud is right here, so we don't have to even check for it.
Okay.
We're gonna pre-drill our holes and then just pop in some screws and we'll be all set.
That sounds simple enough.
The other nice thing about this is when it's not in use, you can fold it up so it's out of the way.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hold it there. Thank you. Now we're gonna just use the screws that it came with, drive it into the stud. Again, this is something you wanna make sure to get in the stud so it's weight bearing.
Okay. Now this is a pretty simple just storage solution for cheap, right?
Yeah, I think this bracket costs about 10 bucks, and it's gonna make a world of difference in here for them.
Try to hang. Look at that. There you go.
All set. So why don't we get the stuff back on here and then we can show off the new garage.
Sounds good.
This is the simplest solution to a messy garage and great use of available space. Always a smart play, especially in the city. Your costs will vary depending on what you want to do, but this setup cost about 50 bucks. This took about an hour, and if you ask me, it was a piece of cake.